Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rest is Lean podcast with me, Alan Lothian, and my fine colleague, John D. How are you, John?
Hello, hello.
Also, for those of you that are on the pod regularly, we normally have a third person who joins us, good old Russell, but unfortunately can't make it today. But we'll make sure we have ample time to rib him through the course of this episode.
I feel he would expect it. Nay, demand
Absolutely.
it.
He would not want anything less.
Merciless, he normally. I did think, Al,
Mhm.
when he let us know, he wouldn't be able through unforeseen circumstances to get involved today.
Do you mean
I did
almost
think,
last minute, do you mean?
yeah, yeah. I did think, oh, this might be a friendship test. And of course, we decided to just carry on. So,
So actually, what we'll do is when this eventually does go out, what we need our subscribers and any other new members to join us is to let us know how this compares to the normal
that's
episode.
it. This
All
could
right,
be an upgrade. This could be what they've been waiting for.
exactly.
Maybe they're
And then
disappointed about who's dropped out. We don't know, but we'll find a
we'll
little
find
bit
out.
more. Talking of
So,
subscribers, out
yeah, yeah,
any good inputs,
yeah.
comments, emails that we've picked up that we want to
Actually, we
raise?
went up a few. So a couple of shout outs for new subscribers since we last spoke. And please forgive me for this one, Bo. So Bo Lixholm Jensen,
Are you both?
Lixholm Jensen has joined us. Also, we've had Reinhold Leo,
Hi,
who's joined
Reinhold.
us as well. Hello, Reinhold. Good to have you with us. And there was a couple of others. Oh, Hone All UK.
Honall UK.
Hone All, Hone. So a shout out to them. They also put put a comment on the pod that they've said the comment was that they've put a comment on the LinkedIn post.
Ooh.
Now I can't find it on any one that I've done. Certainly can't see it on any on mine. I don't know whether that's appeared on one of yours or on one of Russell's.
It must be on Russell's. That's why he's not here.
Exactly, he's probably with him or her, or whoever Norma UK may be. That could be the reason.
Honall, have you approached Russell saying, can the gang come and help you? We've got the really interesting, exciting thing. And Russell just gone, yeah, yeah, I'll be there in a minute.
Well, he did say, "Can you send the clever one?" And we said we weren't available, so we sent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Honor, if you're listening, when you finish with him, can you send him back because we could
Yeah.
do with him for next time. All right, that's great. And also, Engage Works.
Yeah,
They
I saw.
contact us again. I mean, they're
Engage works high.
really liking the pods. And one for you, John. Torquay Toffee, who I believe is a contact of yours, says, "Can he come and join the show at some point?" Well, if Russell never comes back, Torquay Toffee, that might be a possibility.
There's a space on the screen that could have your face in it, Talkie Toffee.
Only on
But we
one
will
condition,
have
though,
to
John.
discuss your normal need for anonymity. Yeah,
And
not people not
anonymity.
knowing who you are.
Who are?
I mean, are we talking in silhouette with a voice changer? Are we talking wearing a balaclava helmet? Who can tell? Who can
Like the
tell?
claw? Is it the claw in Inspector Gadget? Something
That's
like that.
it.
The but other than that, yeah. So welcome to all the new subscribers, and again, thanks for the comments. Keep them coming. And we'll
Fantastic.
talk about all
Fantastic.
the subscriptions and registering your
Yeah.
comments and stuff towards the end of the pod. But
Yeah.
yeah, welcome on board, and I hope you enjoy this one. So
Right.
anyway, John, any gossip your end? What have you been up to?
So I've been flitting around the country. I've been doing, I still keep doing plenty on work study at the moment. It seems to be a bit of a theme. Um, I'm doing some stuff on visual management with another outfit and doing a little bit on team leader and management relationships, which is quite interesting.
I'm going to say, how's that been going? Is that management of relationships all in the one company, or
Yeah, how they relate to each other, how they treat each other, how they communicate with each other. Yeah, there's some cultural challenges in the particular outfit I'm thinking of, and yeah, we're trying to rally the troops and get people to work better together and basically realize how much both parties help each other. So yeah, that's really interesting. The nature of it means I can't really go into it too much because it becomes very obvious who it is.
Ah, right, okay.
It's a kind of a reasonably big brand name, and it wouldn't
Uh,
take a lot of guessing.
and we've got to tick that box on YouTube if you mention it, haven't we? So,
Yeah.
the which we don't want to do. Well, if we can help it anyway. But so, and is it one group? Is it the group within the one? It's one. It is one business and one group. Did you say?
It's one business. I'm dealing with about three sites connected with it.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, it's a British company, but it's all over the place.
Fantastic. Do you
Yeah.
know what? One thing, I was a real cynic when go back, what, 15 years ago, a real cynic in terms of, you know, used to get team building activities. We used to do some when we were at IF, if you remember, didn't we? Would you ever take part in the ones when we went up to the northwest, up to Cumbria and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in charge of running around in the woods with a
I think
headlight
me and
on.
you might have done one actually. I'm thinking whether me and you
Yeah.
did one. When we got
I
where they
remember
had the
doing
island
quite
in
a
the middle of
lot.
the lake.
Yeah. BMW team leaders trying to train them up. So whether that resonates with you, I don't know.
I don't think
Trying
any
to. They were very good. They were very
same neck
good.
of the, it was definitely the same neck of the woods. But anyway, the
Yeah.
reason I was saying it was in terms of the theory and the science around team dynamics. I, yeah, I'll have to say I was a skeptic.
Hmm.
However, that was until when I was working at Eton, and they brought in this lady from a company called Insights.
Right.
And if you look just behind me at the top of can you see the top of my
Yeah.
drawers? Yeah. Can you see like some multicolored
Yeah.
building blocks?
Yeah. I
Okay.
thought it was your Lego or your Duplo.
Your Lego blocks, right? Until I did this. Okay. I'm not on commission, so we don't have to tick the box. But this is what absolute, and I won't show you the brand, but this is what absolutely turned me around. All right. It was absolutely fascinating. It looks at how you dial up certain preferences within your inner self.
Yes.
So I don't know if you can. I can't. Well, I'm not going to do it too closely because you can see the brand on there.
Yeah.
But basically, the colours represent four areas of your psyche, so to speak,
Mhm.
and which ones you tend to dial up more than others,
Yeah.
right? And you get a report. You think, AI's been involved with that. It's same thing. Couple of numbers gives you a
Hmm.
range. You get a standard script. All
Hmm.
right. But actually, I've always advocated it ever since in businesses I've worked in
Hmm.
terms of trying to just allow either existing leadership teams or any team of any nature to understand where they fit within the radar, so to speak. So
Yeah.
imagine you've got four quadrants and you're going to sit somewhere within that radar.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just found it really, really powerful when they have this huge mat on the floor, which is basically the radar. And
Yeah.
once you've done like the questionnaire, you basically stand on it and it makes you think about where you are positioned as a team. So if you're all grouped into one corner,
Yeah.
that's probably, you might want to consider balancing it out because it's going to
Yeah.
be too top
Yeah.
heavy. Um, and so ever since then, I've always used that. Businesses, if I'm looking for new members to leadership teams, I'll always use that as part of the recruitment process.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's what I use.
I've used quite often. Um, I'm trying to think of the new brand name because it's been recently been bought as a business and I can't reach it at the moment. But one of their products anyway is the SDI triangle. So a
Yeah,
triangle
yeah, yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
red, green, and
Oh,
blue.
there we are.
Again, a radar chart
Yeah.
style, personality assessment, that sort of thing. And I've always found that to be actually quite intuitive, quite interesting. There's a good degree of um, telling people's fortunes a little bit. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
if you want to phrase a statement in the right way, I'll read it out to you, not knowing it was you I was going to see, and you're going to start nodding halfway through. Oh, that's me. He's got me. He's got me. So there's a degree of that
yeah.
within all of these things. That's the cynic in me.
Mhm.
However, there is some really good science in there as well, and some good thought-provoking stuff. And for nothing else, like the one that you described, it just gets groups of people together discussing
each other.
maybe their differences.
Yeah, exactly.
And does it matter if the science behind it is solid or not? If it actually provokes people to get together and start talking and thinking about how to
Absolutely.
work better.
I learned a lot
Really
about
like
myself
that.
as well in it.
Say again?
I learned a lot about myself
Mm,
in terms of how the blind spots that I had and how people perceive me. I mean,
yes.
I'm sure everyone's got perceptions about what they think about me anyway, but you'd had it from day one. But it's understanding. It also talks about like when you're on a good day, if you're on top form or
Yeah.
low form,
Yeah.
yeah, and you don't realize how you can come across so differently
Yeah.
without realizing. So yeah, I agree with you in terms of as a trigger and being able to have a conversation.
Hmm.
Um, Even if it just helps bring people come out and say, look, do you know what? Yeah, yeah, you always like that when you've had a really bad day. In
Yeah.
fact, you're a pain in the ass when you're like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, it's just nice to open up and be honest
Yeah.
with each of
I
you.
think a feature of these surveys, and the one that you used is definitely going to have the same thing within it, is it can often, yeah, it's telling you a little bit about yourself,
Mhm.
which is unlikely to change you because you're you. You're not going to say, "Oh, I'm wrong. I need to be a sadder, more serious person." It's never going to change you, but it's interesting. However, it can help explain why certain individuals you work with, you struggle to get on with.
Yeah,
You struggle to see their point of view. And once you understand some of these processes, and certainly SDI triangle helps with this quite a lot, you say, okay, I realize now why Bert I've treated as my mortal enemy when actually he's got the same goals as me. He just goes about them in a different way, worries about things in a different way. And it comes across to me as polar opposite, but it's not. The well-meant intent again,
yeah, yeah,
about that
exactly.
before. Why do they act the way they act?
Mhm.
If you can understand it, you don't reject their feelings and their thoughts and what they're saying. You start to understand it and listen with slightly different ears.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's two sides to every story. There
Yeah.
is two sides. I was going to say the other things that they should bring in more. Okay, because I know Russell did something similar, and what was a couple of learning things that came with it? Oh yeah, time management,
Mm.
punctuality,
Hmm.
and prioritization. He was shockingly bad at those, and it's
Yeah.
actually proven well for this because he hasn't, like I said, because he can't make it to the podcast.
It's perfect. See, Russell,
So how
sort
many
it out, mate.
So
Sort it
that's
out.
three. That's three in the first 7 minutes.
Right, we'll put another couple of pops in and we'll call this one done.
It's all going good. Anyway, one other thing. So we had Honall, Torquay Toffee. Oh, yeah, no, you've not mentioned Torquay. You finished with Torquay Toffee now, haven't
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got to
you?
have a balaclava on at the moment.
No
Yeah,
problem.
seriously
Um,
though, thank you, Talkie Toffee, and we would enjoy having you on this podcast because who you are, what you are. I'll speak to Alan about you separately, but
I like him already.
yeah, we would have to discuss your online persona.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm intrigued. He's a celebrity already.
Mm.
To all two of our subscribers. The other thing I was going to mention was, well, and we've mentioned this subscriber a few times. We talked about the Grey Beard Academy.
Yes, yeah.
Now, I met up with the Grey Beard Academy about 2 weeks ago. Um,
Did they confess
they've confessed their
they've
identity. Did
they've
I tell you who
taken
it was
Russell
last time?
at the
Did I tell you who it
abduction?
was?
Yes,
Yeah. So I want to issue a little bit of a shout. I don't know if we put it on the pod, previous pod, but yeah. So a big shout out to the Grey Beard Academy, who is a guy called Carl Smith, who used to work with us many moons ago.
I can't.
So it was nice to catch up with him. I was intrigued why he called it the Grey Beard Academy, and I didn't ask him until I didn't
He
think
didn't
about it
used to
until
have a
afterwards.
beard.
Well, he hasn't got a beard, but he's got grey hair. So I don't know whether he's got his head upside down. I don't know, but no, seriously, it was great to catch up with him,
Yeah.
and Hopefully, we'll see him in the not too distant future. He's a very fortunate chap because he tends to share his time between the UK and a lovely part in Italy.
Hmm.
And it is absolutely beautiful where he is. Anybody who's seen elements of the most recent James Bond film,
All right.
um, he lives not a million miles away from there.
Very
He's
nice. Very nice.
beautiful. So he's a very lucky chap. So
Well,
I promise I'll give him a shout out. So a big shout out to Carl. All
cheers,
right.
Carl.
So yeah, other than that, that's the subscribers. I don't know if there's anything else your end you've seen at all, John.
No, not really. I've seen the same people popping up, and yeah, a few little highs and hellos and thumbs up from folks. So, thank you very much. A thing that popped into my head when we was just coming online for this, though, Al,
Mhm.
was one of the activities that I've been doing recently. It's another, as I say, work study
Mhm.
activity. It made me think about gadgets and gizmos.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you, I wanted to ask Russell, but he couldn't be asked. There you are. One more to go.
I might not be yet, but at least I've turned up.
He couldn't be asked to turn up though.
Yeah.
Gadgets and gizmos. As lean professionals,
Mhm.
I'm sure, like me, you carry around all sorts of bits and pieces in your boot, or at least you got them in your cupboard to deploy at the right time, whether it be, your mobile whiteboard or bits of cling film that you stick on walls. We've always got our marker pens and our blue tack and da da da. And I'm a bit of a gadget man, so I'm always carrying around odds and sods. Some of it's quite clever. But I've got a really simple gadget here that I use so often. I thought, oh, I'd raise it because it's not the
Go
most
on.
common thing. Do you remember back in our youth, when you were doing stuff out on the shop floor,
Mhm.
you'd maybe have one of them stainless steel clickers like you had on the buzzes to count
Oh
people
yeah,
on and
oh the
off.
bouncers get you
Bouncers have them, don't they?
books.
Count
Yeah,
people
yeah,
in,
yeah,
count
yeah, yeah.
people out.
Yeah.
Um,
You
well,
can tell we had different backgrounds, mate, can't you?
yeah, I was riding the buses and you were getting chucked out
I
of
was
places.
clubbing. Aye.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd mention one of my favorite gadgets, and yeah, I haven't changed the batteries in them. I've got the electronic versions,
All
tally
right.
counters,
Okay.
and you can set these things up to do all sorts of clever bits and bobs. Oh, it has come on. Sorry, it has come on. So what you can do is use it like a normal tally counter,
Oh yeah. Yeah, got it. Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's jumping. That's all great. But you can also set it to 100 and count down because that might be useful, or set an alarm so that you can, you know, beep away collecting stuff and it'll tell you've got to the number that you were looking for, the 20th or
Okay.
whatever.
Ah, so if you need to have it behind your pack clicking it, you've got the
Yeah.
audible signal to tell you. Okay.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to beep if it's inappropriate for the environment. Not that I
Oh,
do sneaky stuff, I don't, I never do. But sometimes it's inappropriate to be beeping near somebody where they're doing stuff. So I use them a lot, and I've got half a dozen of these things knocking around because I give them to people in teams.
mhm.
If we're saying, fast moving process, every time you see a rejected biscuit off the
Yeah,
line,
yeah, 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 yeah.
just
Click that.
let's get it. But you get all the ones which have got too much chocolate on.
Look, they're not reject, are they?
It's a problem because we're giving away money, but no, I wouldn't say it's a reject. It's a bonus. Yeah, just a simple little gadget that I really love. And they're like they're, I don't know, that's probably about £5.
Oh, right. Have you only, is
Really,
it
really
recent?
things.
Only recent?
Electronic tally counters. Just go on Amazon and search for it.
Well,
And
on that, I
no
wouldn't,
brand on mine.
isn't it? I wouldn't say I have, you say about gadgets, not really a gadget per se. You mentioned that the flip chart stuff, the anti-static flip chart
I
stuff.
can't think of the name of it.
The anti-stat, you know what I mean? The stuff that you don't need blue tack or anything to stick on the
Yeah.
wall. I think, do you know what? That my head was blown. I know it's been going for years, but my head was blown when somebody introduced me.
Magic whiteboard. That's what it's
That's it,
called.
right? And I basically bought this first roll, and it must have lasted me, I don't know, probably the best part, maybe a week,
Yeah,
laptops. I literally plastered everything. I was trying it out in the house. I was everywhere showing it
yeah,
off to my wife and my lads. Look at this stuff, it's magic. And everyone's going, oh, it's been out for years. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, my head was blown. So I
yeah.
always have a pack of that in the back of the car. But in terms of, that's probably the only thing I would say that's real. It's not even a gadget, really. My phone comes really handy,
Yeah,
from just recording things generally. I
yeah.
mean, do you remember the times where we just had, do you remember the kit that we would be armed with?
We used
Video
to have flight
camera,
cases
still
on wheels
camera.
full of
Yeah.
rubbish.
Do you
Well,
remember
not rubbish, it was good, but
the
video and the cassettes that we would need.
yeah. And the lever arch files with all the acetates in of the presentation
Acetates for overhead projectors.
projectors. There you go. Still got that somewhere. Still got it, just in case, John. Just in case.
Yeah, I've
Everything
still
all comes
got
around in full circle. It's like vinyl. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Vinyl comes on. The acetates will come back eventually.
I've still got a projector that is, as I call it, a six berth. It's like, yay big, enormous thing, kicks out enormous amounts of heat. But I'm not kidding. You could go out on a summer's day and shine it on a brick wall and it'd be brilliant.
Brilliant.
I've had a couple of modern small ones and they're a little bit insipid.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Trying to, isn't it lumens? Is that what it's
yeah, the
called?
lumens. I mean, it'd heat a room up in no time. So hardly the most efficient or green machine, but
And
very,
so
very powerful now and again.
the so I was going to say, yeah, in terms of gadgets, probably not. I always arm myself with a tennis ball,
Mhm.
um, two boxes of dice, 30 in each box,
Right.
and a bag of counters, at least 150 to 200.
Are we
Okay.
blurring into
Different
your
colours.
gambling addictions now, Alan?
No, no, not the gambling
Oh,
addiction.
okay.
No, that's on a different pod.
Don't listen to that
Uh,
any boys and girls.
no,
That's nothing to do with what
nothing
he's
to do
about
with
to
this
talk
one.
about.
But yeah, I just think I just have them just in case, because I'll go into activities and we'll be having conversations, and I'll just say, right, stop what we're doing, right, and I'll get out. So I don't know if the tennis ball example, the one where we do it to say, do we have the internal propensity to want to improve? And all you do is with a simple tennis. If you haven't seen a tennis ball game, guys, just go on Google. It'll be on there
Yeah.
somewhere, right?
There's 101 classic lean
Classic
games,
games,
let's call
absolutely
it.
love it.
Tennis
Absolutely love
ball,
it.
three
Take
pin
doesn't take
plugs, classics. Yeah.
exactly right. So I just pull that out, get them all round the table, round in a circle, and start doing that with them. But also, what I do is the dice and the counters is what I call a dice game, which is quite a popular one. But that is a way of showing flow and
Right.
flow. So I try to do a lot of work with theory of constraints
Yes. Yes.
flow before
One of
we
your
get into the
themes.
main
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Um, I just find that a really, really powerful way and a really cheap way, actually, just getting
Yeah.
the teams together and putting the concept across.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I always and it's so compact. I mean, the
Yeah.
box of dice is so big.
Yeah.
You've got a tennis ball and you've got a box of counters, which is two counters, which is about that big. So it fits into it with your laptop case.
Yeah.
So
On
old
on
school,
the on the
old
theme
school.
of games, I mean,
Mhm.
thinking back to when I started, we used to do icebreakers all the time because our Japanese master engineers, or at least mine, was very big on, you need to have a really good laugh with everybody before you can get into anything serious. I don't want any barriers. I want everybody chatting. I want all the barriers down. So we'd play all sorts of icebreaker games. Some of them were probably not correct from a health and safety point of view or anything else these days. So Rio-san used to be able to do this thing where he could sit down without the aid of a chair, just using the strength in his legs.
You're
His
joking.
calves are horizontal, and as long as he was holding his book, so he had some counterbalance, he could sit like he was in a chair, and he could even cross his legs. And he just challenge everybody to have a crack at it. And of course, it just resulted in mirth and laughter and people all over the floor whilst he's flicking through the pages on his book. So we used to do all sorts of stuff like that. But if people are interested in lean games, whether they just be for icebreakers or like you're describing to help drive home a point,
Mhm.
I think that's a really rich vein, a good topic. And maybe, we should introduce a game to people on the odd podcast just to see what sort of reaction it gets. But if you've read The Goal, which is, a classic text, lots of people have read The Goal, there's that description of the matchstick and dice game.
Yeah. Hmm.
And not many people have ever actually tried to play it, in my experience.
Well, that is the
Well,
game. That is the game I've got.
essentially, that's why it triggered it in my memory.
Yeah.
If you just picked up a copy of The Goal, read that, and went, okay, it's sort of good. But then, no, get a small group of your peers in your company and say, we're going to play this game. Aren't there more important things to do, boss? No. Let's just play it because it's not until you play it that you have that, oh my God, recognition of the effects of variability and so many other things that Alan could take you through in terms of theory of constraints.
On that note, mate, I'm going to say to you, and I won't name the company, all right? But the beauty of that game is, if I've been quite lucky because the company I've been doing it most recently, obviously I've got a feel for the place and what's going on. And we've spoken earlier episodes about having the eyes when you walk in the floor and getting a feel for the place. And you're constantly thinking, how can you get the point across when the time's right with the right sort of people to really maximize the learning. And I did that last week with some of the middle management, right? And it went down like a storm. It was great. They really got it. They were really buzzing. No problem at all. You need to do it with this senior leadership team. I said, totally agree. All right, we'll go and get them. Right. So we are now in well, where are we? We're in May now. So the earliest date they can do it is the end of July.
The moment is somewhat past.
Yes. So one of the things that we've talked a lot about in our episodes is driving the right behaviors, setting the scene as much as possible to allow our activities to be sustainable.
Yeah.
One of those is leadership buy-in. I think
Yeah.
I just speak to volumes if I'm brutally honest with you. Which on that note, when we talk about sustainability, I'm going to say to you, we should just do a quick plug about Subcon because that's exactly what we're about. So for those of you that aren't aware yet, Subcon is at the NEC in Birmingham, in the UK. And this year it is on the 4th and 5th of June. And the Rest is Lean pod will be going live for the first time. So hopefully Russell will be able to turn up and not let us down last minute. How many is that now, John? Is that number 5, do you think? Or number
I think that's 6.
Right,
6.
okay, that's good.
7's a good number. I think we should go for one more.
I'm thinking double figures, to be fair.
Oh!
But yes, so we're in the 4th and 5th, but we're together as our team on the 5th, aren't we?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And our topic is that very that S word, so sustainability. Yeah. So if you're interested about lean transformations, if you want to get some tips or share some experience with us or ask us any questions,
yeah,
get yourself down to the NEC at Subcon on the 5th of June. If you can't make it and come on the 4th, I think myself and a few of the guys will still be there, but unfortunately we won't be talking. And that might be of preference to you. Right?
We won't be talking. Like we've fallen out by then, have we?
We won't be talking then, no.
Oh, we won't be talking to Russell.
We won't be talking to Russell.
No.
We won't talk to Russell. So he's far too busy doing other things.
Russell's doing 3
about 12 of them, I think.
He's doing a lot of talks around Subcon, and I think one of the associated shows that's on at the NEC at the same time. I could be wrong.
Well, I'm surprised they haven't done Subcon sponsored by Senpai yet. Oh, that's another note. He still owes us some of that beer from last time as well.
Yeah. It's easy, that talk, isn't it? Oh, look at my can. Empty. Oh, they won't post well. Yeah. Come to the NEC with beer, Russell. This is important.
So in terms of your bits and bobs, then, John, is that pretty much are you up to speed now in terms present day now? Have you got stuff? Any interesting stuff happening in the next few days or so?
I'm at home over the weekend until Wednesday when I set sail for North Derbyshire, I think, for a few days with one of my clients over there.
Set sail. Is it a big lake from where you are?
Yeah, yeah, it's very windy. Then I'm heading over towards Norfolk to do some more work the following week with a client over there. So yeah, I'm busier than I want to be, if I'm absolutely honest, which is it's not very busy, not by Alan standards.
Well, busy, but busier than you want to be.
Yes.
But you're a man of your own destiny, John. You have to,
Yeah, I am. I am. I enjoy what I do when I'm not working just as much as I enjoy what I do when I am working. And I've got this conundrum.
do
It is
you,
I could retire,
oh,
but
don't
I
say
quite like what I do when I'm working.
yeah, yeah. But there's only so many rusty Jaguars that you can deal with, isn't
Yeah, yeah.
there?
Yeah. For those who
Thing
don't
is,
know,
what would you do? I mean, it is one for you. When you say you're going to retire, you're not going to retire from doing the pod as well, are you?
oh no, what talking rubbish for you and
Yeah,
dissing?
exactly.
No.
So, I mean, look, even
This
you're
is like
thinking about
going down the
retiring.
pub, but at a distance,
Yeah,
basically.
but you're thinking about retirement, but um, you've still got your priorities set that you're still going to turn up.
Oh yeah.
Do you
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? I mean, you're not going to think, oh, do you know what? Oh, something else has cropped up. Um, but the lads will be all right. Well, I'll just let them. I won't worry about
It,
it next time.
I can only hope he's down at that there brew dog saying, no, I need another two pallets, one for each of my bestest buddies in the whole world.
That's a good point.
Russell. That's the only reason that he could be missing.
Be careful, John. We might have to tick the box if we're not careful.
Yeah. Other beers are available.
I was going to say to you, if you're all right, if it's okay with you, I've got a bit of a rant.
You've always got a bit of a rant out.
I know. Well, it's not. I want to say, is it a rant? No, it's not. It's not really a. Yeah, is it?
Yeah, it's a rant. It's a
Well,
rant. I can tell. I
tell
can
you what,
tell. You've
are you
changed
happy
colour
for me to
already.
share it with
Go,
yourself
go.
and the listeners? Right. So, and I welcome. By the way, when we get to the end of this, I really do hope that we get some comments from those who are listening, really, because I really would welcome your thoughts on this,
Yeah.
guys. All right. And I'm certainly going to ask your thoughts on this, John. Anyway, so those of you that may have listened to one of our episodes in season or series one about my rant with Qatar Airways and the issues with stand-up meetings.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is very recent. Okay, I mean very recent. Um, I'm in the throes of booking a holiday. All right, and the holiday is not until next year. However, the rant is about their booking processes. All right, so booked a holiday, needed to pay a deposit. I had a gift voucher.
Yeah.
Very fortunate to have a gift voucher. All right, but it's an E1. Okay. So I go into the store, really old school. They're not doing it online. Went into the store, said I'd like to use this gift voucher to pay my deposit. Okay, sir, no problem at all. So walk in, they ask for the details. I give them the details. The lovely member of staff types in all the details, says, thank you very much. That's paid. I get an email from TUI saying it's all been confirmed, it's all been paid, right? No problem. Then later that same day, I then get a voicemail from said tour operator saying, Mr. Lothian, we've had a bit of a problem in the sense of we haven't got your money from the gift voucher. And I'm thinking, so could you give us a ring and get back to us? So, okay. But I'm looking at my phone, I'm looking at the email, it's all been paid for, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I've gone back in and I should say, I've checked the website and it's saying everything's been paid and the balance is correct and all that. Blah, blah. Anyway, get back in. So he says, oh, well, what's happened is, even though we've processed it on the computer, right? And it's accepted it and it sends the receipt and it sends the email to acknowledge that you've paid it.
Mhm.
Okay. What should happen is a separate process where the actually old school, you put like a credit card in the machines.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put your PIN number and stuff in, right? Is something similar to that. So the actual gift card is a bit like an
Yeah. Yeah.
credit card.
Yeah.
So you have the long digit number, you type it in, put the value in, and off you go, right? Now, they hadn't done that, right? And I'm saying, well, okay, but you've put the gift card on the system, typed in how much you want me to pay, and it's accepted it. It's sent me an email to tell me that you've received it and it's been paid for, right? And now you're telling me that that hasn't happened because what you need your member of staff to do is then do a manual process by putting the numbers into a separate piece of equipment, i.e. the card reader, which then gives them another code, which they then have to put onto the computer system and amend the information that they'd put on previously. So I said, well, okay, but it's accepted it on the computer. You've sent me an email acknowledging that it's been paid, right? Oh, yeah, but that's because the card reader is a different process and we'd forgotten to do that. Yeah, but that's not my problem. I said, you've got a payment. Your system is recognizing it. It's acknowledging it's been paid, and it's sending the customer an acknowledgement to say it's all bought and paid for. Okay.
Was there a physical card involved? Did you
No,
want?
no, it's an e-card. But it has like a 16
So
number.
what they're worried about is inputting this thing that you haven't got that they sent to you electronically and now want you to bring it
Into
to
the
the
manual
building
card. Yeah.
so that they can use it, this
Well,
imaginary thing that they
exactly. And
sent.
I'm explaining this horribly. I know I am. Okay. But the thing is, the point I'm trying to get is what happened then was because I went back in today to discuss today to with them, the same lady, young lady, she was a lovely lady, she was, who had done it with me to begin with, right? She then got really upset because she'd missed part of it. Basically, what they're saying is they'd missed part of the process out. They hadn't done the manual process, right? Had they have treated it like if you'd have just put the 16 numbers in, it would reference and the amount you want to pay. If there wasn't enough on there, it would have kicked it back.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And she hadn't done that. All right. But the actual electronic process she has done, the electronic process is allowing her to do anything she likes. And they say, they could put £10,000 in there and it just accepts it. And
Mm.
it sends you an email to say, oh, Mr. Logan, you've paid £10,000 towards this holiday. Well done. Right. But all you're going to do is have a call a few hours later when they're cashing up to say, well, they're £10,000 out of pocket. And by the way, subscribers, I wasn't spending £10,000 on a holiday. I can't afford anything that much. But it's purely an example. All right. But it just shows how disjointed
Yeah.
their process is. So the point I'm getting to is this young lady got really upset. Okay. And she had to go. She went into a back room to go calm herself down, and that was fine. Okay. She bless her. And I'm sat with the manager. And I'm saying to her, I said, what I can't believe is your system allows you to be able to make that mistake. You and I've always, one of the biggest things I've always remembered is there is no such thing as operator error.
No.
The process is allowing the human to make that mistake. It's a process error. If there's something wrong with the process, there's your opportunity to improve, right? And it made me think about the impact it has on multiple stakeholders when a problem like that exists. More importantly, a member of their staff is getting really, really upset because she and the manager is saying, well, she's been trained to do it. But that's irrelevant. The system is allowing the potential for that mistake to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was an honest mistake. And the poor girl was beside herself. I felt so sorry for her. I mean, thankfully, we got to the bottom of it. We sorted it out. And I said, and she came back and she, consoled herself. And I said, you have nothing to be upset about. All right. This is a process thing. What should be, I said, and I was quite blunt, because the only person should be apologising is your manager. Okay. Because they haven't provided the right environment for you to do your job effectively. And I felt really, really sorry for her. I really did. All right.
Yeah. It's a
So,
great example of transactional process waste, really.
honestly, I couldn't believe
There's
what she was
obviously
telling me.
duplicate processes there because
Yeah,
there's two routes
exactly.
that go in
Which are not
parallel and then
joined.
join up,
They're
but they
reliant on
don't
a
join up.
human to duplicate it twice. You've got to do two of the twice double the transaction.
Yeah. I mean, how is it that you were able to leave the building um, unaware, as was the member of staff in there, that the whole thing was completed? It's because there's a stage in the process where you have to remember to.
Correct.
That is the only explanation.
Yeah,
And now, in the environment they're in, I'm sure they can't have a laminated poster in front of their desk for, have you done this for everything? It's inappropriate. So their processes need to be clinical enough that somebody comes in and asks question A, they can either pick up, oh, you need a type A question form or a type A question screen, and then you're into a sausage machine that shouldn't allow you to accidentally exit early because you don't get the ka-ching.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
if you need to jump systems, well, bad design, but it should force you to jump systems or say, yeah, alert, alert, this is not finished. You need to jump systems. Otherwise, you've got to remember.
Exactly. And that's the thing, isn't it? That
Yeah.
that that that's where the opportunity lies.
And I
I,
think the only process where you've got to remember is allowed is language. How do you speak English?
mm,
I've got all the instructions written down and there's good rules and you always put an I before an E. No.
mm.
You learn English by remembering. And it's a really bad system.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know,
That's
yes.
the only example I've got of a process that relies on that. And that's why it's so faulty.
Yeah,
Particularly with me, somebody who memory for some things is awful and dyslexic and it just falls apart.
exactly
All
right.
the
Exactly right.
processes should be sausage machines.
So it was just mind blowing the impact that it has on that system. So I think for me is Tui, if you're listening, have a look at it, will you? All right. Particularly when you've got members of staff getting upset over
Yeah,
it. It's not their fault, okay? It's your process. Deal with your
absolutely.
process. If you
Absolutely.
don't know what to do with it, give John a ring, give me a ring. Don't phone Russell because he'll probably be late or
No,
not
he won't
turning
turn
up.
up.
He
He
won't
won't
turn
turn
up.
up. He'll
But
have
give us
lost
a
his
shout
voucher
and we'll
anyway.
certainly help. All right. That's my rant over. Sorry, mate.
I think you should be on some sort of no-fly list
It's
for
funny
your
though, isn't
own
it?
good.
The ones only seem to stick out for me, the ones when I'm either in airports and
Airports are amongst the most stressful
yeah.
environments for the average person.
Although I will say I
Time
was
out.
very impressed with, I think I might have said this on the previous pod. I was impressed with Birmingham Airport when we flew to Cape Verde.
Okay.
That has impressed a hell of a lot
Mm.
because I think I've had a rant about them in the past, but not on our pods, but on something else. But
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the way the way it's improved. There's still opportunity, but it's improved immensely in
Mm.
at Birmingham Airport. So credit to Birmingham Airport. I think we'll call it a day. I'll say thank you very much for your time, John. Thank you for turning up. Thanks to
That's
the
all
staff
right,
for
mate.
turning
Turning
up.
up's the least that I could have done.
All right. But more importantly, thanks to everybody that subscribed this month. Long
Yeah.
may it continue. Continue to share and the good word that we're trying to spread. Um, leave a comment. So either on the YouTube site, we do put posts on LinkedIn on our respective
Yep.
sites. So if you want to comment on those, absolutely please do so. And we've also got this now on many streaming platforms, some good, some not so good. So those of you that are on those well-known ones and not so good ones, feel free to listen to us on those. And better still, if you want to drop us a message or by email, the email is John.
The rest is lean at gmail.com.
Good man. Okay. So
Excellent.
thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode. So it's bye from me.
And it's bye from me.